their grandparent version. I do not fault them at all. They
What?
I think we lost Tony there.
Come on,
Did we lose Tony?
Tony.
Yeah, he was good. It should taste good.
the parents are.
We got him back.
The three amigos.
Tony, we lost you there for just a moment. We lost you there for just a moment. So go ahead. You can
So,
repeat a little
Rich,
bit.
I'm
Go ahead.
watching you. Ooh, this tastes good.
Grandparents, they're giving you their grandparent version. They see the holidays, birthday parties. They don't see the daily reality, but hopefully they see a good amount. But they see through their prism. The parents, they're going to be pushing their three amigos narrative. But how accurate is that? Is that what it really is, or is it what they want? They compare that then with the ex-boyfriend who we just heard from. No custody battle, no family impact, no image to protect, and he's saying the dynamic was not what the adults described. Then you got another testifying about chokeholds in the family. That's not a bitter outsider. That's someone who allegedly experienced it from inside the house. So I'm going to...
Yeah, let's bring in psychiatrist, forensic specialist, and medical health expert, Dr. Yalda Safai, is also with us tonight. All right, Dr. Safai, what are your thoughts here? Because we're getting, the parents, grandparents' perspective, and then you get the perspective of the boyfriend. They seem to be in completely different places in describing the nature of this relationship. Who's telling the truth? Is there a way to figure that out?
Nope.
Well, what a contrast. Sometimes see things through a rosy-colored lens. So it's sometimes their perspective on things might be a little bit skewed, but I think they shouldn't be taking the ex-boyfriend's testimonial at fact either. If in fact the stepbrother was harassing Anna here, she probably told other people besides the ex. So I would investigate and talk to Anna's other friends and see if she ever made similar statements to them as well. I think just taking the ex-boyfriend's testimony as fact is incorrect here. And also, like my co-panel.
All right, we're having some technical difficulties, so I think what we're going to do is our guests are going to stick around. We'll reconnect with them.
The option of
This is another big issue in this case. Did this sleep arrangements on that arrangements, Bruce, make any sense? Bruce, make any...
Was she given the option of staying in another room?
All three of the kids were.
How you doing,
The disappearance
Muhammad?
of mother
I don't think they were.
Anna Walsh.
Her husband now charged with her murder.
All eyes on this accused killer.
Mr. Walsh was suspecting his
How, you're
wife
gay?
of having an
I'm not gay. And why you gotta be rude, Maria?
We have a 3-bedroom house with an addition room downstairs.
So what are the sleeping arrangements when all the kids were there prior to this cruise?
The 2 youngest girls shared a room, the 2 boys shared a room, and Anna had her own room.
Okay, so that's all about what was happening in the home, right? This blended family living together. So the younger girls, they shared a room.
Yeah, good. I'm just trying.
The teenage boys, 14 and 16, they shared a room, stepbrothers. And then Anna had her own room. But then they went on this cruise. Now let's bring back in Court TV.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
So what have we heard?
I'm good. Yeah, I'm doing good.
About the sleeping arrangements on this cruise, the why of it, the where of it, the how of it.
Well, Vinny, the most important thing we know is that Anna, her 16-year-old stepbrother, who's a suspect in this case, and her 14-year-old half-brother all stayed in the same room. Now, during that same hearing that we just saw, Anna's stepmother said that all of these 3 kids had the option to stay in another room with their grandparents, but they wanted to stay together. Take a listen.
Ms. Kepner, who all went on the cruise with you?
Myself, my husband, Anna, Connor, the 2 youngest girls, and then my mother-in-law and father-in-law.
What are their names?
Jeff and Barbara Kepner.
And where was their room in relationship to where your room and the children's room was?
2 floors up.
Just watching some true crime.
Did they also help in the supervision of the children?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, she's not a child. She's an adult. 18 is adulthood.
Anna, who we know passed away, she was 18, correct?
Correct.
And she was an adult?
Correct.
Anna?
Was she given the option of staying in another room?
All three of the kids were.
Okay. And would that room have been with Grandma and Grandpa?
Correct.
And they didn't want to do that?
No, they wanted to stay together.
Now, Vinny, Anna's grandmother, who was on the cruise, also reiterated this in an interview with ABC News, and one of our producers voiced some of the comments that were made. Take a listen. I'm here.
The two younger girls stayed with the parents.
Mr. Spider-Man,
And the three
hi. You
teenagers,
good? Yeah, I'm good.
They decided amongst themselves they wanted to stay in the room together. But we had a larger room,
Just chilling.
and we made it very clear that at any
My
time,
back hurts.
if they weren't getting along, they didn't want to be together, we had an extra bed in our room that they could come to.
So, Vinny, let's take a look inside of one of these rooms. The I Like Cruise Ships YouTube channel did a video tour
watched this yesterday.
of one of the 3 passenger cabins aboard the Carnival Horizon. Now, this particular room on the ship had a set of bunk beds as well as a single twin bed. Take a look.
Welcome to the Carnival Horizon. We're going to have a look at one of the Family Harbor cabins. This is 2464. Now, this is
Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button.
which is the Family Harbor area.
Thank you.
And you'll see all the cabins sort of running not too far from the back of the ship. So this is kind of cool because one of the actual Pullman beds is already in place. I'm just going to get the ladder nice and straight there. So you can actually see that top bunk already prepared. So this is actually set up as a 3-person room.
That's ugly, right? I don't like it. So, Vinny, let's take a look at some of these still images from that video, also from the island. It does not look fancy, right? It looks like a prison.
Give me 1 second.
That one looks like here. We see the 2 beds next to each other plus the bunk bed on top. It makes you wonder how someone could have stuffed a body under that bed in the first place. No, for real.
Yeah, it's tight quarters. Obviously, you're on a cruise ship. It's all tight quarters unless you spend a lot of money. Yeah.
What you say? Yeah, Allie, right? Aren't there nicer rooms, Allie? Why is this room so ugly?
That room is ugly.
Carnival Cruise Line. That's why Carnival is not that fancy.
Wondering how do you even get under
That's ugly.
a bed in that room? And then
That is so ugly. I'm sorry.
I agree.
Look at that room. Ugly.
got a small bathroom. That's where she would have to
Have you guys been on the cruise
I believe
before?
it was the travel agent who first suggested this sort of arrangement, because I'm sure this is perhaps a more common kind of dilemma, like how do we break down who sleeps where? Thanks, Cody. That brings us to the next question in our investigation, and it's about these arrangements. Did the sleeping arrangements make sense?
No.
Right? Does it make sense to put 16, 18, and a 14-year-old together?
No.
And the 16 and the 18 not related by blood? Joining me, true crime podcaster from Steph's Case Files.
It's so weird.
Stephanie Pratt is with us, and still with us, psychiatrist Dr. Yalda Safai. Great to have you here. Stephanie, what are your thoughts here? Does it make sense? And I get it, right? You're going to pay for one less room. Maybe she wants to stay with the teenagers instead of staying with grandma and grandpa. What are your thoughts?
I think it's totally inappropriate here, Vinny. As much as the grandmother and the parents want to believe that they are close best friend siblings, the fact remains that it is inappropriate, in my opinion, to put younger males with females or vice versa.
I agree.
I believe that what Anna was telling her boyfriend at the time is the truth that we need to follow. She was
How you doing, Chloe?
made uncomfortable. Whether she decided to tell her parents or not, they know the truth. And so I think their story of this being okay is their way to cope with the decisions that they made. And also to try to discard some of the blame that might be on them for making this decision.
Yep, and she's dead now.
Dr. Safai, what are your thoughts here? Potential scenarios, right? Either they had no idea.
They had an idea.
Or nothing was happening, or what the boyfriend is saying either wasn't true or they didn't know about it, the parents.
They knew.
Or, as the boyfriend said, Anna was uncomfortable and he had actually told the parents about what was happening with the stepbrother. Under those two different scenarios, do you come to two different conclusions about whether or not the arrangements were appropriate?
You know, in retrospect, now that a murder has occurred, we're all looking back and saying, okay, the sleeping arrangement was inappropriate. When, if nothing happened, no murder occurred, and they concluded the cruise without any incidences, we would have not been thinking much of it. But the fact of the matter is, there was no adults in that room, so there's very hard to have complete supervision over these teenagers. And as we all know, that teenagers are impulsive, they do stupid things sometimes. And I believe Anna was 18, she was an adult, but there was someone as young as 14 in that room. So putting teenagers together alone in a room without any supervision might become an issue. Now, do I think that was the reason that this murder occurred? Probably not. It might have occurred either way, whether they all slept in the same room together or not. But if I were a parent, I would split up the parents and have a parent in each room. I would have a parent with the teenagers and a parent in the other room. So I would have complete supervision because, you know, it is a cruise ship and it's a small, you think it's safe, that there's no place for a person to go. But when in fact, crimes on cruise ships happen all the time. Yep. So supervision is necessary there as well.
Yeah, the other way they could have broken it down, Stephanie, is you could have had mom with the two girls, dad with the two boys, and then grandma and grandpa would get, a little time off. They'd have their own little setup. That could have worked, but obviously the mom and dad wouldn't be able to share nighttime together. But, it seems like that might have been an easier way to do it. What are your thoughts about the travel agent being the one suggesting it and then following the advice of the travel agent for sleeping arrangements?
He wanted to make a sale. That's the thing.
Well, I think the travel agent's main goal is to make a sale and to make people feel more comfortable with the space that they are affordable to purchase. I think that's the agent. I think he says that to all the families in every situation. I don't think this is any different.
How you doing?
What I'm hoping is that they have intense surveillance video in the hallway, so that they can place the younger stepbrother in the room at the time. I believe that something happened after Anna returned from the casino, because even though she wasn't feeling well, remember, she did return with the family later at the casino.
Aiden, how you doing, Aiden?
The younger brother wasn't there, but he had been there at the casino earlier.
Just eating and listening to some true crime.
The other part of this is that they all lived in the same house together. And if whatever happened here, do you think it's a result
I'm eating
of
a sandwich and listening to
something that may have inevitably anyway,
one of my friends that go live on YouTube, and he listens to true crime, so I'm listening to whatever he's doing.
If a family member wanted to harm Anna, they would have done it, whether they were on a cruise ship or at home or anywhere else. So, like I mentioned before, I don't think the sleeping arrangement was the reason why Anna was murdered, but I think the parents could have had better supervision over who's coming and going and what was going on in that cruise ship.
Big thanks to Stephanie Pratt, Steph's Case Files, and Dr. Yelda Safai. Great to have you both here. Appreciate it.
I'm at 841 subs now.
Does anyone else have an opportunity to kill Anna?
And I'm smoking cannabis as well, because in my back. So.
As we learn more about Anna's blended family and the role it played in her death. Here's the story.
Bright, bubbly, and full of dreams. That's how Anna Kepner's family remembers her. Before she graduated high school, she carved out a life of ambition.
That's sad. Some girl was killed in the cruise ship. They think how old are you? I'm about to be 33 in April. But we don't talk about age here, because there's children that come here, and I don't want no pedophiles
Court hearings now reveal a shocking development
on this channel. So
her 16-year-old stepbrother is being investigated by the FBI. The investigation is shrouded in secrecy, yet the whispers are growing louder. Was this a tragic accident or something far more sinister inside a family's own walls?
So the FBI is investigating.
But if you're 18 and older, you can join my Discord.
We're still at a point now where we're trying to figure out what exactly happened here. Court TV field reporter Cody Thomas still with us.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Let's get to the basics now. Let's get to the timeline. You know, take a look at what we know happened, when it happened.
How you doing, Polka Dot? Susan, how are you?
Happen to get a better idea of the sequence of events here.
Vinny, before I get to the timeline, I want to remind our viewers just the scale of this ship and remind them of when it departed, where it departed from, and all of
The
those
ship
details.
is $8 million. It
$800
costs
million ship had a guest
$800 million
almost
ship.
4,000 people with almost 1,500 crew on board. And during Anna Kepner's trip, it actually departed from Miami, Florida on
It's a big ass
November
ship, and it
2nd for a
costs $800 million.
cruise.
This is a lot of
We all
money. I
know
wish
that
I
all
had
this
that.
went down on the night of November 6th. So just 4 days into what was supposed to be a 6-day cruise before they came back into the port of Miami. Now onto the timeline, Vinny. On November 6th, during dinner, Anna tells her family she is feeling ill and goes back to her cabin. Anna's 14-year-old brother and 16-year-old stepbrother, who were also staying in the same cabin, return to the room a little later. Anna's 14-year-old brother changes clothes and leaves the cabin to take pictures of the cruise ship. The 14-year-old returns and notices Anna is not in bed, but he presumes she's staying up late with the grown-ups. Now we fast forward to the next day, November 7th. The 14-year-old and 16-year-old boys head to breakfast with the rest of the family. Anna doesn't join them for breakfast, and the family realizes she is missing.
That's sad.
Anna's father, Christopher Kepner, begins searching the horizon. A medical emergency is announced over the PA system. Then Christopher goes to Anna's cabin, where the cleaning crew had just discovered her body crammed under the bed. And Vinny, one more thing I want to point out. The grandmother has since said that Anna came back out of the cabin following that initial return when she was feeling sick. She came back out.
No, and I've never been on a cruise before. I want to go. I want to do it one day.
No, don't go.
To go gamble for a little bit before coming back to the cabin to stay the night, and when all of this ultimately happened. And of course, we know something tragic happened in that room that left her dead that night of November 6th.
Yeah, and the comings and goings there, right? You have, at some point, the 14-year-old brother coming back. At least that's the way it's been reported. Coming back, and she's not there, but his stepbrother is. All right, that brings us to the next question in our investigation. And you look at motive, we don't know about that, but how about opportunity? Did anyone else have an opportunity to kill Anna?
Nope.
It seems from the timeline that the 16-year-old stepbrother does, because there appears to be a gap of time when he's in the room and his 14-year-old brother is not. Joining me, Tony Bruschi, True Crime Podcaster from Hidden Killers with Tony Bruschi, and retired FBI Special Agent Kenneth Gray. Tony, I'll begin with you. As we look at this timeline and the comings and goings, it's crucial. She goes back first by herself, but then at some point leaves to go gambling and then returns a second time. Is there anything in this timeline, as you think about it and look at it, that would give anyone else an opportunity to take Anna's life?
It's very, very difficult to see that window. We're talking
Thank you
about
for
a
the
cruise
like.
ship, a
Don't
locked
forget
cabin, middle of the
don't
ocean,
forget subscribe
middle of the
as
night,
well.
open city
Whoever
blockers,
like
eventually
if you
considered,
knew.
could someone else have done this? Technically, I mean, anything is possible, but probable. That's a very different question. This wasn't a robbery. Nothing was taken. This wasn't a random stranger who accessed a locked cabin, committed a murder, and then vanished on a floating vessel with cameras everywhere and nowhere to go. The cruise ship log key card access, that's going to be crucial, and the FBI has had time now to look at that. I would guess if there was some other mysterious third party, we probably know by now. Instead, we got that confined space, a small group with access, one person with accusations of aggressive
How you
behavior
doing? Long
towards
time
the
no see. Where you been?
The list of
I go
people who
live
could have
every
been
day,
in that cabin
several
at that
times a
time
day.
are very short.
Kenneth Gray, your former colleagues from the FBI investigating this case, your thoughts about the timeline? Is there anyone else that would have an opportunity to get in that room or perhaps kill her outside the room and bring her into the room? I don't know. What are your thoughts?
I'm good.
There was a report that the 14-year-old had said that he was barred from going into the cabin by the 16-year-old, and he heard a fight going on, chairs being thrown. He tried to go into the cabin, and he was denied entry by the 16-year-old. So it certainly sounds like the list of suspects is very small.
And just to take that one step further, Kenneth, it seems the only other place you could go is the 14-year-old, right? Like, and I'm putting it out there because if this case goes to trial, there will be a defense. The defense could be mental disease or defect. The defense could be they didn't prove it. The defense could be somebody else did it. So if we're looking at somebody else,
I'm smoking weed and I'm trying to eat, and I won't eat unless I smoke.
Right?
Absolutely. Now, the report that
18, she just turned 18.
She went out and was gambling on the cruise ship and then returned back to the cabin. That's new information to me. But nonetheless, there are cameras on this corridor. And if somebody else had gone to that cabin, they would have appeared on that camera view.
Yeah, so
why don't they show who appears
Because they're not going to show that.
before she went into the room and when she went into the room, and who appeared at the camera door when she left, when that person left?
They're not going to show that.
Why is it so hard and difficult to solve? That video camera, motherfucker. Where's the video camera? Damn.
Tony, looking at it, the 14-year-old, it seems a lot of information seems to come from him. We've watched so many trials through the years.
Incredible.
I mean, to me, you never know exactly what a defense will be if there is a defense, right? If there is a trial, if he is accused in the end. But that seems to be the only plausible person, if you're going to point a finger somewhere, would be the 14-year-old. I'm not indicating that he did it. I'm looking ahead to what it might look like inside of a courtroom.
You'd also then have to ask, though, what was going on with the 16-year-old? Was he unconscious if you were going to go down that route? Or was he aware of something that maybe I get what you're saying.
Hey, how you doing?
There's 1,000 possible areas where that could go. But, as of right now, we just don't know. But that would literally be the
That makes no sense. If you're unconscious, how can you hurt someone?
The 6-year-old guy, he's probably sleeping.
Nation for this choose your own adventure book.
Yeah. And that leaves us into another world, Kenneth Gray, which would be some other type
It's all right.
of
You don't have to
defense.
apologize.
Again, it could be a mental defense, right? That's always possible. But if it's more traditional, like
The one true
self-defense, is
groove.
there a way to determine
Do you go by a different name? Because I don't
by
know.
looking at
I see that you're a
the
mod,
room,
but
the forensics, the autopsy, if a self-defense is even a plausible explanation for what was going on in that room?
what was your
He
name?
could certainly try to raise that, or his attorney could attempt to raise that as a possibility. But, he would have to be able to convince a jury that what he
So you
is
remember?
raising is a plausible explanation for this. I think that likely that he will claim self-defense at this point. I doubt
Oh
that
yeah,
very
Miss Bucks.
seriously.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
And Tony, if in
Self-defense.
fact there is this argument and this fighting, to me, understanding the genesis of this
Bullshit.
conflict will be crucial to really get to the truth and understand it.
Bullshit.
Yeah. Any sort of pattern of behavior that can be shown is going to be
How you been,
linchpin
though?
for this whole thing. And that testimony, if the ex-boyfriend's statements are true, pretty damning for what we're looking at here.
Yeah. Kenneth, I'm trying, from the beginning, we've all been trying to understand how this could happen within the family and within people that are so young. But it's a blended family. From your perspective,
What you been
from the
up to,
FBI's
though?
perspective, how much time, energy, effort goes into this part of this investigation versus, manner, cause of death, potential
I'm good.
weapons, etc. How much is geared towards understanding any potential conflict between these two?
So you want to build a total picture of the people involved. And we know from the ex-boyfriend that he had seen the stepbrother on top of Anna, and that was threatening to
allergies.
reveal that to the family. And so we know there is a history there that he's obsessed with her. And so building that total picture will help make an explanation by why he may have attacked her inside this cruise ship room.
Yeah, and Tony, we've been talking about him a little bit tonight.
Just in
made a big
case.
splash when
He was
spoke
banned,
outside
so
of the
he's not
memorial
coming back.
because it was the first time everybody was like, "Wow." What are your thoughts about the ex-boyfriend and what he described in that interaction? Because it's to me, again, that gets to the bottom line here. If he saw that and that happened, it seems like there should have been some reaction to that. Something should have changed inside of that household dynamic.
But
if
it
that
did
in
it.
fact happened.
You would certainly think, I mean, his testimony in that parking lot was extremely raw, extremely real. He had nothing to gain out of sharing all of this. In fact, he puts himself in kind of a precarious spot legally. But the fact is, he said those things, and if they do turn out to be true, it's extremely powerful, and I think could be the haunting voice of Anna that comes back to save the day here in terms of getting justice.
All right, big thanks to Tony Bruschi, Hidden Killers. Check it out, folks. Kenneth Gray's going to stick around. Coming up next, why hasn't the 16-year-old stepbrother been arrested?
Damn, 54 counts, damn. That's a lot.
Anna, your son. Correct.
All eyes on this accused.
Evidence.
This incredible timeline of Google searches.
It shows everything that was in his mind.
He searched how long before a body starts to smell.
The disappearance of Anna Walsh murder trial. Live coverage weekday morning.
That the mother took the two younger children on a cruise, and that the older child
fuck it, I was muted. Damn. I was saying
was approximately 6.
I was telling Ali Books, thank you very much for the compliment regarding my cute BJ bottom. Thank you, Ali.
15 years of age, is a suspect in the death of the stepchild, an 18-year-old daughter that was in the same room.
That's Anna Kepner's ex. His attorney in a custody hearing, talking about what happened on the cruise ship. Because Anna Kepner's stepmom's in the middle of a custody battle involving her children with her ex. But obviously this is a big issue in that litigation. Let's bring back in Court TV Field reporter Cody Thomas. All right, Cody, so what we just heard that lawyer say, he's a suspect. Well,
Ali, that's the first time someone mentioned or recognized.
Right now, almost a half an hour I've been streaming.
who exactly is saying that this 16-year-old stepbrother is a suspect?
Well, Vinny, the short answer is there are a handful of people calling him a suspect, including his own biological mother, along with some law officials, as we just heard. Take a listen to this, and a fair warning to our viewers, we have muted the suspect's name because he is a minor, so there's nothing wrong with your televisions. We just have to drop his name since he's younger. Take a listen.
With regard to Connor, I know you were questioned about him. He's not a suspect, or you haven't been advised by anyone?
Correct, he's not a suspect.
As far as you know, is the only suspect in the death of Anna, your son?
Correct. So as I'm looking at the motion, the paragraph specifically that the court will address would be related to paragraph 7. The 16-year-old child is now a suspect in the death of the stepchild during the cruise.
There's a young lady who's passed away. That matter is still under investigation, and the remaining 16-year-old is now a suspect in that case.
There is currently an FBI investigation as
No,
well.
I'm an idiot.
With regard to
I blocked them by accident.
16-year-old.
No.
The FBI has cleared
Unhide.
my client from any wrongdoing. She's not considered a suspect in this matter at all.
Welcome
Vinny,
back.
for those of us keeping a tally here, that's the suspect's own mother, that's the judge, and 2 attorneys that are calling him the suspect. Now, in a previous divorce hearing, Anna's stepmother's attorney acknowledges the fact that it could be either the FBI or the state of Florida who charges this 16-year-old, which is a huge differentiator here. Take a listen to this. And again, we've dropped the suspect's name because he's a minor.
There was an incident on the cruise ship. The Federal Bureau of Investigations is investigating that. There have been no arrests made yet, but since my clients were advised that he was a suspect in that, after he was released from the hospital upon the return to the United States, he was placed with a relative of the mother's.
How long is expected to remain with the relative.
At this point, we're not sure what the FBI is going to do, whether he's going to be charged federally or whether they're going to turn it over to the state.
So Vinny, FBI or the state, that's a huge difference. And of course, we're still waiting on more developments on this case, but it's quite possible that this 16-year-old might have a long, long road ahead.
Yep.
Absolutely. Cody Thomas, great job. Thanks so much.
Guys, I'm going to come back later. Thank you for joining me.
And all of this, you know, everyone's saying he's a suspect, specifically